So I recently made a video about doing crafting writs in ESO, and of course, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't go over because I wanted it to be a pretty quick video. But somebody immediately asked, "Bill, where do you get crafting materials?" And I thought, well, okay, I should probably make a video to help people find crafting materials. And there's a few different ways to get crafting materials. One way is out in the world. So here I am out wandering around, and I see these orange flowers down here. So I'm going to come down here to the orange flowers, and sure enough, I can interact with them. So I hit that button, and it's going to pop up, and it's going to say, oh, there's some dragon thorn, which is an alchemy material. So I'm going to take that. And now I've collected a little bit of alchemy, but there's a lot of other stuff that you can find. So I'm going to wander around and see what I can find so you can see what things look like in the game. All right? Before I do that, do me a favor and click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and click on the bell to help the YouTube algorithm tell other people that we make good content here. All right? Let's get started. Okay, I did not have to travel very far before I found another crafting node. This one is for enchanting, and it is a rune. You can see it right over here. Oh, yeah, by the way, torch bug. You can click on bugs and stuff, and you can take them, and they will be used for fishing bait if you want to do fishing. So there's a rune stone I can click on collect, and I don't have to have any special tools or skills in order to pick those up. I just walk up to them and hit the button. Now, if you do not have Elder Scrolls Plus or ESO Plus, I would recommend just skipping doing this altogether because it's going to fill up your crafting bag or your inventory incredibly fast. One of the advantages of having ESO Plus is that we have a craft bag which contains all of the different crafting stuff that we may find throughout the world, and it's a bottomless bag that never ever gets full. All right, let's skip ahead, and I'm going to see if I can find some more crafting nodes. Okay, we found another craft node. It's right over here. This one is a piece of ore, so it's an ore node. And one thing that I will tell you about crafting nodes, or I guess harvest nodes in Elder Scrolls Online, is that they are a shared resource with everybody. So if somebody else sees that and gets to it before you do, then they are going to be able to take that, and the resource node will disappear just like that. So if there was somebody else watching, they would have seen me use that, and then it would have disappeared after that. Not really necessarily a resource node, but you can see here that there's also chests out in the world, and you can walk up to them, and it has the very familiar interface for lockpicking from other Elder Scrolls games. I will say this, it's a lot easier to lockpick using the mouse and keyboard than it is the controller, but it still works pretty well. All right, let's pause and see if we can find more crafting nodes. After wandering around for quite a long time, I finally found a piece of maple. So you can walk up to it, of course, collect it just like you would anything else. You might have noticed that these things don't jump out at you in like as you're wandering around. They just totally blend in with the surroundings. There are actually ways to make it easier to find these things. If you go into your skills, and if you look here under blacksmithing, and this is the same for all of these, if you go into blacksmithing, there is a skill point or a skill that you can build up called Keen Eye. And what that does is it makes it easier for you to see these things when you are 20 meters or closer to it. So that actually makes it pretty easier to find stuff. You can also hire a hireling, and they will find you some crafting items every day. So now that we've gone over, I guess this is not the way that I get most of my crafting items. The way that I get most of my crafting items is through dungeons or killing monsters. And then I get equipment, and then I destroy that equipment in order to get the raw materials out. Well, let me show you how to do that. So one of my favorite things in this game is doing dungeons with other people. I just finished doing a dungeon, and as you go through the dungeon, you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff, and most of it you're not going to be able to use. So here's my basic breakdown of what I do to look through my stuff. So the first thing that I do afterwards, I hit inventory, and I go to my inventory, and then I'm looking at the things that I picked up in the dungeon. So you look at this, I've got a restoration staff of Sanctuary. I have no use for that because I happen to be a tank, and I'm not going for, going sword and board. And I know that there are ways to use a resto staff as a tank, but that's not what I'm going for. So as you can see, I've got a lot of different stuff in my inventory, and I can look in here. I've got some more stuff in my inventory. I can look in here. I've got a lot of stuff in my inventory. So what do I do with that? Well, I go to each crafting station. I'm going to start at the woodworking station because it happens to be right here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hit research. Now, what this does is it allows you to learn a trait that will make it so that when you're crafting materials later on, you can use that trait on something that you are making. So let me give you an example. The charged trait increases your chance to apply status effect. Okay? In order to get this trait unlocked for you to use it as a crafting thing, what you have to do is you have to research it. So if you look in my, I must have an item in my inventory that is a bow that has the charged trait. So first, let's go into my inventory so I can see what that looks like. A bow is a weapon, and it says right here, Maple Bow of Shock, and in the middle of the screen you can see that it deals shock damage, and then it says increases chance to apply status effects by 160%. And then it's got a little magnifying glass, and it says charged. That magnifying glass means that it is a researchable item. So let me jump a couple times by accident, and I'll use the woodworking station, and I go down to research, and I decide that I want to learn that charged skill. I'm going to hit that button, and I'm going to research that trait. It will destroy the item in question. Do I want to continue? And I say yes. Now, there are going to be some people who say, hold on to everything that is researchable, and I bet you that they're probably right. I don't do that, though, because if I did that, then my inventory would be constantly, absolutely just packed to the gills, and I wouldn't be able to do anything in the game. As it is, I'm already almost at capacity. I'm 53 out of 70. So I go through, and I've got something being researched in my woodworking trait. So now what I do is I'm going to deconstruct all of the other stuff that I can deconstruct. Now, if you look at this, you can see on the left-hand side we've got magnifying glasses. That means I can research those. I've got a little money bag, which means that this is ornate, which increases its sell price by 280%. Now, I am not an expert at the game, but I'm guessing that because that's ornate, it's probably in my best interest to sell it rather than deconstruct it. I look at apparel. I have the Prophet Shield, which looks like it is researchable. But I'm going to go ahead and destruct everything by pressing A and then X. And we'll go over here, and I'm going to select these two items, and I'm going to go ahead and because I have multiple items selected, I'm going to hold X to deconstruct. And if you watch on the top right, it's going to tell me, look at all of the materials that I just recovered. Now, the Maple Inferno staff, I'm not going to deconstruct that because it's worth extra money. So let's see if we can find somebody to sell to. We've got the woodworker right here. I'm going to sell, and look at that. I have other items that are ornate. So I'm going to sell the ornate items. I'm going to sell the trash, and then we will go back to the blacksmithing station. So now that I'm in the blacksmithing station, I'm going to see if there's anything I can research. Now, one thing that I didn't talk about before is that you can only research one thing at a time at each station. So right now I'm already researching something. It says researching right up there at the top. So I can't research anything else, even though, and there's my timer. It's going to take another 3 hours roughly in order to finish researching decisive, which is what I'm researching right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct, and I'm going to deconstruct the stuff that I am no longer using. Bam, that stuff is now gone. We go into apparel, and I'm going to deconstruct all of that stuff as well. Bill, you're deconstructing a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on a sec. Of the Tormentor. Ooh, goodness. This looks like this is a set. Let's hold up a second, and let's look at my character. Not my character, at my inventory. I bet that there is a bonus to using all of that stuff. So if I use 2 items from the set, I get an extra 1,500 extra health. 3 items gives me 4% healing taken. 4 items gives me 4% healing taken. 5 items says when you deal direct damage with charge, leap, teleport, or pull ability, you gain physical and spell resistance and taunt the ability. Okay, let's equip that. And oh, I don't have that. Of the Tormentor, let's equip that. And Tormentor, let's equip that. Do I have any other Tormentor stuff? I do, and I have 2 of these. Are they exactly the same? No, this one's better. So now I have 4 items that are of the Tormentor. So that means, and if you look at this, and I know this is not related to what I was talking about, but it's valuable information. Now I have an extra 8% healing taken and an extra bunch of extra health, as well as extra armor enchantment effect by 14%. So that's pretty good. The 5th item. Do I have a 5th item? I don't. But I think that is pretty great. If I look, yeah, that's... Hold on. That is an improvement. I'm glad that I noticed that before I destroyed those things. So let's deconstruct the rest of the stuff that I have. I don't need that. Okay. Normally I don't hold on to stuff, but now I can make something of the Tormentor and give me that 5th slot. So I'm going to hold on to those because I may use those later. All right. So now I've deconstructed and gotten a bunch of new crafting materials, which I can use to craft those writs. Let's do one more time at this clothing station, or clothing station. I don't know how to say it. Research. I'm not doing any research right now. So let's see if I've got anything that I can research. Right here, you can see that I've got a trait line. I can research infused, which increases the item's armor enchantment effect. Researchable from set items and quest reward items. Let's go ahead and research it. Bam. That's going to take 5 hours. And the more times that you've researched things, the more things that you know, the longer research is going to take. That's just a little warning for you. So now I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct everything. If you look at this one, the rawhide arm cops, on the left-hand side, you can see the deconstruction symbol in blue, and that's because it is intricate, which increases the inspiration gained from deconstruction of this item by 280%, and you gain additional refined material upon the deconstruction of this item. From what I understand, and again, I'm still very early on in the game, but inspiration is a currency that you use to buy higher level crafting writs later on in your character. So like, I've got all of this stuff in my inventory, taking up space, and I'm going to deconstruct it all, and I'm going to go from 38 out of 70 down to 29 out of 70. So this is emptying out my inventory, but only because I have ESO Plus and access to that crafting bag. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. If I were not doing that, what I would do is I don't know what the right thing to do is, but my guess would be probably deconstruct all of that stuff and then sell all of the materials, maybe to like a guild vendor or to just a regular vendor. I don't know what the best way to do it is, but hey, I'm still learning too. And if you have any tips or ideas for things that people might want to know about, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will, of course, do my best to make a video that helps people with that. Anyway, again, do all of the YouTube nonsense that people are always asking you to do. The reason they ask is because it helps. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.